Hello, Mr. Jim Starlin.
Hello, how are you doing?
My name is Carlos. I'm a huge fan of your work.
Thanks for keeping me alive.
And first of all, is your first time here in Brazil? Did you already try something from Brazil, a drink or food or something?
Oh, well, we've been having great meals at night. We've been mostly here at the convention so far, so we haven't had much of a chance to look around outside the convention. We're staying for a few days afterwards.
All right, so enjoy the travel. And now let's talk about comics, right? First of all, does your Batman kills?
Does my Batman kill? I know that's something that they talk about. It never came up in my stories, but I think if he had to, he would. With the exception of maybe the Joker, because he has a strange love-hate relationship going on there.
All right, and you was one of the responsibles for the new attitude of Jason Todd. How did this happen?
Basically, I never thought that Batman should be going out dressed in black and gray and fighting crime with a teenage boy who he puts in primary colors.
Yeah.
He might as well just write on the kid's forehead, shoot the kid. So basically, I always tried avoiding using Robin in my Batman stories, but Denny O'Neil, who was the editor at the time, kept pushing me to do so. And eventually, Denny came up with the idea of the call-in about whether Robin should live or die. And we wrote a 2-page alternate ending to the 4-issue miniseries, and statistically, it was a dead heat. It was only 72 votes separating out of the 10,000 that people who voted for it.
All right, and then you killed Jason Todd.
So he got boots up.
All right. What would you change today if you was writing today?
If I had written it today, we had Khomeini. I had told Khomeini in the story, and just before the story came out in print, he became seriously ill, and we were worried that he was going to die before the book came out.
Yeah.
If I did it over, I would get a healthier, crazy dictator to put into the story.
Great, that's a good answer. You have any opinion of the Red Hood thing?
Not really, because I don't read a lot of comics, and he's come after I've been reading comics.
All right.
Yeah.
And many of your works talk about the danger of mixing religion and politics, right? And here in Brazil, we see a rising wave of that. What feedback do you have for the readers about that commentary?
Okay, life in general is a very subjective point of view. I feel that you can look at life any way you want, but you shouldn't try and push that point of view onto anybody else. And that's what I think religion tends to do. It's a good social stabilizer, but it can also be a big social disruptor if it's used as a weapon rather than as a comfort.
All right. You are the master of cosmic adventures in DC and in Marvel and other universes, right? But in these two universes, what's the difference between the cosmic universe of DC and Marvel? What's the big difference between them?
Between DC and Marvel?
In the cosmic universe.
In the cosmic universe, everything in the DC universe is a little bit grimmer. There's much more interesting abstract entities in the Marvel universe, such as Eternity and so on.
So, Marvel is more abstract.
Marvel's more surreal and expansive. DC is grimmer and more realistic in his cosmic stuff.
All right, great answer. And you did the Death of the New Gods, right?
Right.
And it was one of the many preludes of Final Crisis. We know that the coordination of all that was kind of messy, right? And what was your involvement in that? And what can you talk about behind the scenes?
I'll basically tell you that it was a complete mess to work on. Apparently, was it Grant Morrison who did the follow-up? He kept requesting that we make changes in my story so it would work into his story. And then when he came around to doing his story, he just ignored everything we did. So basically all he did was screw up my story for no reason whatsoever. and the entire series was just a mess, and I try and forget about that story as much as possible.
It's sad because it has some good points in the story. It has very good moments.
But it had some bad points. He asked us to merge the two planets together again, which John Byrne had already done in a previous book.
Yeah.
And, so I went along with it because that's what they wanted. And then he ignored the whole thing. So, I have bad memories of that story.
All right, so let's not talk about it. In the book, Marvel, The Secret History, they tell that some writers like you and Steve Gerber and others delayed the scripts to avoid editorial changes on them. How much of that is true?
Could you say that again?
In the book, they say that some writers from Marvel delayed, they postponed some scripts to avoid editorial interference.
Oh, yeah, we would hold on to it until the last moment, even if, especially if I was, I was very good on the deadlines, but I'd be done weeks ahead of time, and I would just hold it on so that the editors couldn't do much with it.
So that's true?
That's true, yes.
Great, that's a great story. And now let's talk a little bit about Dreadstar, right? Well, author or work. What can you say about the new comic book development?
Okay, we're doing it through a company called Monkey Wrench now. My collaborator, Jamie Jameson, and I will be working with Monkey Wrench come January to do the first Kickstarter, which will be for the second graphic novel of Dreadstar. The first one was through Ominous Press, which is disappearing. And so Monkey Wrench is taking over, and my entire library is going over there. And at this point, we have 5 graphic novels of Dreadstar new material coming out, starting with Dreadstar Returns. Second one will be Dreadstar versus the Inevitable. Third one will be Dreadstar versus Dreadstar. And there's 2 more plotted out that haven't been entitled yet.
Oh, that's great. And to finish the interview, what can the Brazilian fans of your work expect from Jim Starlin?
Maybe Dreadstar will come in and make a trip through Rio de Janeiro or something like that.
Oh, that would be great.
I haven't thought it out yet.
All right, so enjoy Brazil, have a good fan. Maybe you'll have some inspiration to great Dreadstar stories.
We'll see what happens.
Thank you very much.